Last planner in construction. Pull planning step by step, how to run a pull plan. I am so excited for this video. The last video was talking about the master schedule and the macro. You got to check that out before this one. And we will continue in an overall series of 20 videos talking about how to do the last planner system step by step. So let's go ahead and do this. You knew it wouldn't be long before I was over here at the flip chart. So just a brief introduction. When we're talking about last planner, we have your master schedule, which is where you have your start and your end milestone for a construction project. Then you want to go into and do the pull planning to a milestone, either forward or back to forward, either way. And then that pull plan then comes down and becomes, and I'm going to draw a parallelogram, a norm level production plan with buffers, and this is in a time by location format. Then we're able to filter out the 6 weeks out ahead and the weekly work plan out ahead, and then go ahead and create our day plans and our percent plan complete. So this video is specifically talking about this, and I'm assuming that you already have a macro level Takt plan, which looks typically like this. You'll see these little beautiful parallelograms inside a strategic plan like that. And you'll see interdependence ties. So that's beautiful. If you have a CPM schedule, you're more at risk because the milestones inside the work breakdown structure will not be aligned properly in most cases. And I'll tell you why, because the critical path method, according to the rules and what you will get audited by and how the industry uses it, and per the exact definition, will run a forward and a backward pass. And what it will do is put things to its earliest start, and the critical path will not have float and it will not have buffers. Now, a longest path can have float or buffers, but the critical path method, the way it's used in the United States, is very toxic. And most of the time you will not be able to have those intermediate milestones be set properly. What I'm talking about is these little intermediate milestones. You need these little intermediate milestones. In Takt, these will be set properly because we use a calculator. In CPM, they likely will not be, can undercut your target, which makes it very difficult. Either way, when you're starting your pull planning, you need, if you're pulling down this phase, you're going to pull that sequence from there. And if you're like, let's say doing this phase, you're going to pull that sequence down. So like I said in the last video, you need the milestone and you need the sequence from those. And you can get the sequence from those, but the only one that you can be sure of that will have the right milestone, as long as it's been put into a reference class forecast activity, probably not saying that right, but according to the book, How Big Things Get Done, and as long as this was a part of a fresh eyes review, you should be set. Now here's the thing when we're doing a pull plan, and we have a book coming out. By the time this comes out, it'll probably be published, so check it out on Amazon, or check in the future if it's not out right away, and we will link it in the description below. It's a book called Pull Planning for Builders, and basically I want to take you through the step here of how you do a pull plan. This is going to be super effective. I'm going to draw it step by step. Number one, when you're doing a pull plan, you need to select the phase. So we're going to do it phase by phase. The wrong way to do it is thinking that a phase is 3 weeks out, 6 weeks out, or it's some arbitrary duration of time. A phase in construction has its own unique zones, and it is a reference to location. So you're talking superstructure, you're talking interiors, you're talking exterior, you're talking about site work, you're talking central utility plant. A phase has its own unique zones. And when we do a pull plan, we go from start to finish. And so we need to select the phase. Number two, we need to identify the milestone that we're going to verify up to. Number three, when we're doing a pull plan, and this is all in the book, you want to send out the invitation and the homework. I love it when the trade partners have 1 or 2 weeks and we send out the invitation, the conditions of satisfaction, the milestone, where it's going to happen, what is expected, like identifying the tags or stickies. And actually one thing, if you really want to not get surprised, this sequence in the Takt plan or the CPM, send out what you think the durations are from your early pre-construction planning and pre-con. And if the duration is just way different, then you can start to coordinate with that trade on getting production data before the pull plan. That way you don't have any surprises. That is my preferred way of doing it. And then you can like dig into the data, you can talk to that company, you can have that ready before the pull plan. So when you send out that homework, it should enable your trades to be successful because we respect people. I'm going to summarize this a bit. Once you gather and you do the pull plan, I want you, please, to go ahead and talk about your conditions of satisfaction. I want you to talk about the rules of how you will engage that pull plan. We will also link in the description below some other specific videos about this to help. Once you go over the rules, I want you to talk about the milestone and make sure it is described exactly. Like if I said, hey, we're gonna do a milestone, we need to do sheetrock. They'll be like, well, is it one side or double side? Is insulation already there? You know, like there's lots more questions about a milestone than we think. Then we need to talk about the stickies, who has what color and what is the format, and then we need to do the pull plan. So number 5, I want to talk about the do's and the don'ts for this. We're going to do the pull plan, okay? But we're going to blow your mind here. And we have a full manual that we're preparing for you, so not a big deal. When you start your pull plan, let me just mark these as A. I want you to go ahead and run the calculator. And what this calculator does, and we'll link you to this template in the description below. This video is phenomenal. I just love it. The calculator will allow you to plug in how many zones you think you have in this phase and allow you to take these activities in the sequence. That's why you have to have a master schedule. And it will allow you to know the number of zones that you want to target because you want to gain time in this norm level production plan and gain buffers. You cannot do a production plan without buffers. You cannot have a milestone you're targeting without buffers. And so this is genius. You can easily do it from Takt because it's already set up, and you can do it from CPM. I'm just hoping that milestone was set properly. Then what you do is B, when you're working with your trades, let's just say this was your floor plan. You talk to them about, hey, what do we think is going to be our zoning strategy, right? And you'll talk through it with them. You'll base it off the calculator, which we will link you to below, and you will decide with the trades what we are going to target together. And they'll buy in. It's worked every time. I don't ever have trouble with trade partners. And then you will see pull plan to one zone. So you do your pull plan. I like to go ahead and establish the milestone. I'll just draw them. I like to do the pull plan forward, okay? And that's probably gonna freak you out because the trades typically understand it that way, and then go backwards. And in each of these stickies, this is so fun. Make sure that everybody declares 2 needs. And that need better be in the sequence, or if it's not, you and the trades add a sticky, and you know that that sequence is complete. So you get what the job wants and you get what the trades need. So it's a partnership, and you can actually call them trade partners. Now the great part, A, B, C, D, and I'll mark this in blue actually so it's easier to see. This same sequence that you've now collaborated on, you will copy it down and represent zone number 2, zone number 3, and so forth. And you will make sure that you have diagonal trade flow for the trades. Oh my gosh, this is so good. And so you'll package it. It doesn't matter how well you flow here only. It matters how well you flow from zone to zone to zone. That is the way you do it. And then the last thing, A, B, C, D, E, isn't that funny that I have to help myself there? You check the milestone. So I'll do check and the milestone. And what you're going to do at the end of this is make sure that you have pull plans so you've gained buffers ahead of the milestone, because you're going to need that if you have delays and interruptions. So this is how you do pull planning. There's a lot more details, but that's why we wrote the book, Pull Planning for Builders. And if you want to know how the last planner system can be improved, that book is called The 10 Improvements to the Last Planner System. If you want detailed instructions, this book is called Takt, Steering, and Control. And if you want to know why CPM will give you a hard time, that book is called The 10 Myths of CPM. We'll link those in the description below, and we hope you check them out. But the bottom line is, the second step in the last planner system is this pull plan, and it has got to gain you time and buffers. It has got to be collaborative, and we do not force the trades. It is a partnership where the jobs needs and the trades needs are both taken care of, and now we enter the last planner system in full. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.